Hi, I'm Don Reed Simmons, and you are inside the sound chamber. You know, the International Sound Therapy Association is celebrating its 20th anniversary this October 2nd through the 4th in Atlanta, Georgia. Yes, we've been together for 20 years now. And we are coming together not only to celebrate the past, but really looking into the future. This is about sound therapy. This is about working with frequency and vibration that really raises the level of health and well-being in a way that has integrity. And it's so important that we bring together some of the greatest minds and experiences of sound therapy. And this year is no different. This year actually is going to beat all of them, quite frankly. This is really amazing. And we've got with us today, that's going to be at the conference, two people that are really breaking the boundaries of sound. And that's Evan Primo and Lisa Maze. You guys are doing some great work. I'm so glad that you're going to be at the conference. You're talking on using binaural sound to enhance well-being. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being at the conference.
Thank you so much for having us, and it's a pleasure to get to talk with you today.
Yeah, really, really nice to meet you, Don, and looking forward to being at the conference.
Thank you. We're looking forward to having you. Tell me a little bit first how the two of you came into whatever it was you were doing before that says now, hey, this is neat. This is something I want to pursue. What was that little moment for you?
So, this is really a culmination of our life experiences. And for me, this journey really started with one of my first retained memories, which was of a near-death experience when I was 4 years old. So, I experienced cardiac arrest in my body and was revived after about 5 or 6 minutes. During that time, I had an extremely beautiful and blissful experience of being in an endless white space where beings of light and color and vibration entered in and essentially painted all of creation. And when I came back into my body, I ended up spending 2 weeks in the hospital in Italy, where I grew up, having a lot of testing done to try to understand and discern what had happened, what was going on, and it was inconclusive. And I was left with that beautiful experience of what it's like to merge with consciousness and really didn't know that there was a whole community of near-death experiencers out there in the world until I met Evan.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
and I'm a lifelong musician, and I grew up playing folk music with my family. Started playing the double bass when I was 8 years old, and but then in 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, I had a stroke, and while I didn't have that kind of near-death experience, um, just having that kind of closeness to death and spending that time in the hospital and in fear, really, kind of started this awakening for me where I fell in love with sound again. This thing that I had been working with my entire life um, in music, and I think at least I took it for granted. Took sound for granted, even though it was the building block of everything that I've ever made money with. It's been my career. Um, and so so during that process of kind of awakening after that stroke, I really fell in love again with sound and started to understand its power, both emotionally and energetically, and from a physical and psychological healing perspective. Um, and yeah, so then I started learning about near-death experiences. This is before Lisa and I started working together, we hadn't even met at that point. And then when we started, when Lisa was sharing about her healing experience using binaural frequencies, I was like, oh, I'm really interested in this too because I had started to explore this. So we started working together, and diving really deep into research and experimenting on us and with our friends. Um, that's how we started meeting. And early on, we made that connection about near-death experiences because it was something that I hadn't experienced personally, but knew a lot about and had actually gone to a near-death experiences conference. So we were able to connect about that as well as the power of sound.
That is so powerful because, as both of you sort of intonated, that meeting of consciousness and physical form,
Hmm.
it really moves everything in a new direction. I think that we're all, if you're conscious about it, we're all here and then again not here. You know, it is said that when you sneeze, you come close to death, that
Hmm.
it's a time that everything stops. And I
Hmm.
think that's why, sometimes when we take advantage or take for granted rather that idea of life.
Hmm.
And when you can merge the living and the non-living or the other world, it's really powerful. Describe to me what is binaural in our binaural sound, because it
Hmm.
sort of feels like that. And a great YouTube video that we'll post the link here somewhere a little bit later. Well,
Thank you.
how would you describe binaural sound?
Yeah, well, as bodies, we have, or our bodies have, I'll say, two of many things. We have two eyes so that we can kind of triangulate and judge distance. We have two ears so that we can triangulate and be able to discern sound. Um, and so what we're doing with binaural frequencies is we're taking advantage of the fact that we have these two ears. We're living in this dualistic place. No getting around it. So that's our path to looking beyond dualism, I think, is our duality. So what binaural frequencies do is they put one pitch in one ear and a slightly or a dissonant pitch, a pitch that is slightly um, a little bit away from that first one in the other ear. So if you were to hear those pitches coming through the air, coming through a physical medium, they would be really clashing with each other.
Mhm.
But if you're hearing one in each ear, then they don't clash in the same way because our brain is processing these sounds individually
Mhm.
before they come through that physical medium. And we're able to then take the difference tone, which we call the third tone, and third tone is the name of our company and the name of our app. Um, the difference between the two pitches creates a third tone, which is often a subsonic tone. It's lower than we can actually perceive as a frequency, um, but it is able to put our brain into different brainwave states and synchronize with different organ systems in our body.
And so binaural frequencies are really nothing new. Many different traditions across the globe for centuries have been using dissonance as a way to expand the field of perception, to hold complexity, and as Evan was saying, to help particular brainwave states, frequency based, synchronize with particular organs, also frequency based, so that yet another layer of third force, which is consciousness or altered states of perception, can arise, right? Through the body and to the spirit, essentially. So we're working both in the kind of physical, physiological homeostasis space somatically and working with altered states and what's available spiritually through that homeostasis as well.
That is really so important. And, that whole thing that two dissonances bring a third tone,
Mhm.
which is bigger than the sum to the parts.
Mhm.
And that's when we live in when we are aware that we live in a duality, we become a third
Mhm.
entity on its own. We're no longer just human bodies, blood cells, that kind of thing. We are spirit and body at the same time.
Yes.
And
Um,
it has provided such an incredible opportunity to dive deeply into ternary spiritual traditions. that are so parallel with what we're doing. And we've dug deep, for example, into Cynthia Bourgeault, who's this incredible um, a, a
Christian mystic.
Christian mystic, Episcopal priest, who has really mapped ternary metaphysics over the Christian Trinity, and kind of come up with a kind of a Christian metaphysical process.
Right.
And of course there's yin and yang and Tao, and there's so many ternary systems throughout the world. um, it's so fun to make all these connections with sound and with healing.
Yeah.
Right.
And the binaural really is very ancient,
Yes,
Mhm.
in reality, like the throat singers and different
exactly.
different things that bring it all together. That this was before sound therapy ever came about, so to
Some
speak.
of the first instruments that we experimented with as we were researching and exploring what were these Peruvian shaman whistles, which are very high pitched, and there are two of them. So two shamans would stand on either side of the patient and blow these dissonant whistles, and essentially creating a binaural frequency in a really intense way.
Yeah.
And
It activates the healing process,
yeah,
and
in a
we
very
had
profound way.
a really
Yeah.
distinct experience of that.
Yeah.
And with these kinds of frequencies, the other thing that I was experiencing working with clients in my nutrition and herbalism and sound therapy practice, what was available was at the time that I started researching all electronic. And I really started to wonder what would the deeper impact be of binaural frequencies that are completely acoustic and human generated. And so, through Evan's musicianship and sound engineering capacities, we've been able to create those organic psychoacoustic frequencies, and share them on our app. And we've also found ways to actually, in the live setting, like at the conference, be able to put people inside of a giant set of headphones, essentially, so that everybody is experiencing the frequencies in community.
That is just really amazing. I think it's going to be a phenomenal experience for people to experience this. What do you feel that those who come to your event, what will they be taking away from that, and how will they be able to take what you've taught them into their own practice?
Beautiful question. And there's so many opportunities within the app that we've created to kind of, hold and tend to this medicine to interact. And so as a home user, people can walk away with a track to listen to on a daily basis, while they're doing daily chores, going for a walk, resting,
Mhm.
to help integrate the journey experience and explore not only physiological and emotional well-being, but also spiritual well-being, and connection. And then for practitioners, it's an opportunity too to explore, and take away how they might use the frequencies with their clients, with their patients, to provide yet another tool after a session to help, again, integrate and re-pattern through the
Yeah.
app. So it's working
Yeah.
on all of those levels.
Again, it makes so much sense when we recognize we are in that duality of life, and bringing them together is really the secret sauce of life. It really
Yeah.
is.
And we'll be happy to share as well the white paper that's being published from the pilot study that we conducted with the University of Virginia Department of Perceptual Studies, this past February. And there are, some beautiful findings from the microphenomenology interviews that participants did with a psychotherapist after each listening session, from our frequencies that we're excited about. And it's great to be able to bring forth the science as well to, again, help to merge and bridge those
Yeah.
worlds.
It really is amazing. More and more, we're seeing people like yourselves bringing science into the world of sound, not just, oh, this sounds good.
Mm,
But there's actual science, which, hey, it feels good. That's a good thing too. But bringing the science into it is really so important these days. So thank you for
absolutely.
doing that. Any other things you'd like to comment on? Also, let us know what is the YouTube channel for yourself?
Our YouTube channel is called Third Tone Project, and our website is thirdtone.io, and that's where you can download our app and try it for free for 7 days. It's a great
Okay.
experience. People see a lot of changes in short amounts of time, and it's again something to support your full aliveness.
I love the way you said that. Support your full aliveness, because that's what we're after, to be
Yes,
fully alive in this.
absolutely.
Well, I'm looking forward to, go ahead, Evan.
Oh, I just wanted to say, yeah, and a part of our full aliveness is the experience of dissonance.
Mhm.
And in a metaphorical sense in life, like a big part, I think, of what we're doing here is to experience dissonance so that we can have a contrast to harmony and unison. Um, and so we're also playing with that, with our medicine. Like this is an experience of dissonance um, for awakening.
Yeah, dissonance that actually works for you, not
That's
against you.
That's
right.
right.
I
That's right.
love that. I
And I
love
think
that.
all dissonance does on some level.
Yes,
Yes, because it'll shake everything up. It'll
that's
Yeah,
right.
make you wake up.
that's right.
Exactly.
I
We
love
call
that.
it listening for liberation.
I love that. Listening for liberation. Let's do
Yeah.
that. Well, thank you so much for this interview. Thank you so much for coming to the conference. This is going to be a great thing. And we'll see you there. So I am Don Reed Simmons. You are inside the sound chamber. Please come to the ISTA conference. That's October the 2nd through the 4th in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing everyone there. Take care.